Hello, everyone, and thank you for attending yet another podcast. This one's gonna be about the microphone and headphone situation when it comes to curly and straight-haired scenarios. Whether or not it's going to be worn, or whether or not it's going to go down through the pipe works of the overall dream that we are in. If you all have heard of the song "Row, Row, Row Your Boat," which I'm sure you have, when we're young, we learn that song, and we keep rowing from there. And then what ends up happening is there's kind of a fist that is formed out of anger on one side, and then another fist that's formed out of kind of like conspiracy toward the government of fists and hands and rock paper scissors. And you know that game actually comes from the ancient Korean art of fascinations with the mountaintops. And so when you peek out on that, you're going to end up hearing quite a bit about, I want to say something about Groot, but that's not necessarily where it's going. It's there's the exit door, and it's kind of like a revolver, and then there's also like a revolving door. And so what you're going to end up having to do is create that extra option, and they call it the God option. And what it is that it sacrifices anger for the sake of the color purple, and then it kind of creates like another red thing on the left side, and there's kind of green is almost merging with it. But then as soon as it makes it out the door, it's just like, oh my god, there's like an earbud, and then iPods. You remember the old iPods? Yeah, so curly-haired people and straight-haired people both made use of the iPods, and then they say, oh, well, you're dead. And then that's obviously not the truth with that. And you gotta wonder why iPod has anything to do with anything at all. But then when you consider cushioning and safety, and then also polluting the mind with all kinds of musical phenomenons, and then you have like a black drummer on top of your head just kind of beating it with drumsticks, and like a hell of a lot of drumsticks. And then it kind of looks like not a caterpillar, but more like a centipede, that crawls up the tree. And that kind of leads us back down this road where there's like clouds, and there's the lightning bolt, and everything below that is done because it has kind of like what was considered to be that threatening aura of sorts. And then you end up having to go down to the information of Greek mythology. And that's where the insanity kind of spins in circles. And when you are able to pull away from that type of scenario, you get kind of what I was talking about in my preliminary podcast. And so that's where we ended up understanding what it means to be kind of a microphone for God, speaking through, iPods, iPads, Apples, and what is it? So there's there's a pause button, and I could press the pause button, but I choose not to press it. And that's kind of the depressing thing about the constancy of moving forward, is that it's incredible how you're able to jump up into the skies. Kind of, you end up using, I really want to say it. You end up, like, some people just end up getting used as kind of like weaponry, based on how enjoyable they are, I guess, and their presence. And you know what I mean? So the sun is just shining bright, and they wear kind of like, I mean, when you think about it, back in the times of the Redcoats and the British Army and the British